Well, that was weird. I don't know what happened to. Oh, the microwave came on. That's why it chopped up. Okay, good. Well, welcome everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. And we are broadcasting live from Washington D.C. and also Dublin, Ireland. We have Patrick all the way from Ireland. Patrick, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. All the way from Dublin Island. How you doing, man?
I'm looking forward to coming to Dublin one day, man. Seriously, I've
Yeah,
heard
no,
so.
you should come to Dublin. You're gonna be impressed. It's a small country, but it's full of excitement and full of its traditions and a lot of lovely stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to coming one day once we get over this whole travel COVID rubbish that's going on, man. But yeah. It's good to be back. Thank God for the vaccines. Thank God for health. We are alive. We are here, able to talk football on this glorious day. Ty, how are you, man? How's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, sir. I didn't know Patrick was in Dublin. I got family in Dublin. So the next
Oh,
time I
what?
come over, I'm gonna reach out to you.
Yeah, cool. Next time you come over, yeah, that's you have good family in Dublin. That's good. Uh,
Yeah. My wife's auntie and the whole. I mean, we got like two sets of family that lives in Dublin.
Fantastic. Good to have Ty back on the show. Ty is not just a friend, but also an avid football lover. Loves the game. As a Chelsea supporter, we've done work together for work. We've done stuff together for ages, and he's always a guy who understands football. And I'd love to have him on board and talk about today's draw. Ty, the weather's fantastic outside here in DC today, man.
Oh
It's
man, it's
glorious.
lovely, lovely.
I
This is
mean,
how I've been going around all day. Just Jersey. No
the
need for
weather
jacket
today,
or hoodie.
it's about 75, 76 degrees. That's about 27 degrees centigrade. It's clear sky, no humidity. It's absolutely beautiful today on a
Yeah.
Friday. Perfect. But we're not here to talk about the weather, man. We're here to talk about the Champions League draw. So this morning,
Yes.
I 6:59 a.m. I woke up. What time is it? Oh, shoot. It's 7 o'clock. It's time for the draw. Rhonda says in my pajamas, put on my Apple TV, right? And caught the draw right as it was going on. And this foolish Paramount Plus channel thing that we have, this app, it's crazy because you're
uh,
trying to get to the right channel and it kind of fumbles around the whole place. And it's difficult. I don't know if you experienced that as well, Ty, about trying to get to the right channel on this Paramount Plus app.
I,
Do you
I
have
I
that same
do.
problem?
I do. I do. Sometimes I'm trying to get to games and you got to go to the app and then go to live streams and I'm just annoyed with it. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's better than I had not been able to watch it. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have some friends who joined the show. We have Charlie. He says hi, Carl. We have um, SSB 28. SSB is always on the Chelsea Spaces or show with Abdullahi, a very good friend of ours as well. We all talk good things about football. There's some really good Chelsea fans that we talk honest stuff about football, which is I find very refreshing. Sometimes it goes late into the night where we're just talking about football, solving each other's problems. I find that very interesting. Charlie says, Happy St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, mate. I'm still trying to figure out what it's all about, but I know they drink a lot.
yeah, they drink a lot in this country. I've never actually attended any of the parades, to be honest. I'm always at work and I never put so much up. But then people have a lot of fun. But it's always an excuse to drink in Ireland. It's always an excuse or
Isn't it an
something
Irish
to have to
holiday?
drink.
Isn't it like an Irish holiday, the St. Patrick's
It
Day?
is. It
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
It is a bank holiday here. And yesterday was St. Patrick's, and today is just a holiday. Apparently, it's yeah, International Sleeping Day today. Apparently.
All right. Right. Charlie says it's 16 degrees today. Manchester's mini heat wave. That's like 60 degrees or something.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, Manchester, where the sun, the rain is sunshine, right? That's what they say. We have Lucas Life. Big up, big up, big up, bro. Big up,
Yeah,
big up.
we have a lot of people live. That's amazing, isn't it? People have jumped in since that last show. Remember, we've been having a very stable live people, which is great, to discuss with other fans.
Yeah, we're watching this on 4 different channels. We're watching it on Afrobeat Live Fan Zone. We're watching it on Pitch Point. We're watching it on True City Fan, and we're watching it on Facebook. So 4 different channels, 4 different streams going simultaneously, all coming from Ireland and Washington D.C. But let's talk about what we're here to talk about, which is basically, and I'll share my screen real quick. It's basically this, right? This right here, right? Can you see my screen? Ty, can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. We have to maybe activate it. I can't see.
Let's go on. Let me just double check. Technology. Oh, here we go. It didn't share. There we go. Now it should be sharing now. Should be sharing now. You see it?
Not yet.
Yeah, what's going on? Why isn't it sharing? Why won't you share, buddy? Unable to access screen sharing. Please ensure all your granted all permissions. What's going on? I can't share? It's not granting me access to share. Ade's joining us too.
Okay.
Hold on a sec. What's going on? Why isn't it allowing me to share? I mean, I have to probably do my. So this is what happens. This is what happens when Ade, hi.
Hey, what's going on?
It's not allowing me to share. What the hell is going on?
You might have to go to preference and change.
Now, do you understand why I left this stream thing?
StreamYard are starting their rubbish, man. Let's see.
Yeah, that's why I left them. No, this is the restream. Don't forget.
Me. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, right? I'm just gonna try to grab a screenshot, and then bring it into the show. I'm gonna save the image as. Give me a second, guys. What's it called? These people have started to mess us up, but I'm gonna go around. I'm going to basically walk around and do something else to make sure we can see the draw. Export to desktop, so I can pull that in. There we go. Almost there. Give me 1 second there. Go back here. Let me bring this into the captions, graphics. Bring this in here, overlay. Pull this in. There we go. Bring it in. And we have it there. Let me see if I can show. There we go. Can we see my screen? Can everybody see it?
Yeah. We'll see it now.
There we go. So we learn to improvise as we go along. So,
yeah.
Right. Okay, so woke up this morning and the draw was made, and we have a pretty mouth-watering quarterfinal and potential semifinal draw. Right. We have Chelsea, Real Madrid, City, Atletico, Villarreal, Bayern Munich, and then Benfica versus Liverpool. Right. The 2 brackets are basically the bottom bracket is the semifinal bracket, and the other bracket is the top bracket is the other semifinal bracket, and out of that basically will come to the final. So I don't know who we want to start off with. Let's go with Ty. Which team do you want to start off talking about first of all? The draw. Which one?
I mean, we can start from the toughest. The toughest draw to me, what they call it's Chelsea and Real Madrid. So we can start with that. I mean, we might as well start having by having fun with it.
So this was the first. This was the first thing that was drawn out. I think it was Chelsea was drawn out, right, of the hat. I think that was the very first pick, and then it's funny how this draw works, right? Because we're all kind of holding our breath. Everybody's kind of holding their breath to say, "Oh, who's going to come out of the bag? Who's not going to come out? Who do you want your opponent to face?" And then Real Madrid comes out. They're paired together. What was your initial thought about this, Ty? I mean, initial thought, and where are you right now in terms of this particular top draw? I will go around the room for everyone.
So you woke up and you're watching it. When I found out, I was actually driving my son to practice this morning, so he was on his phone updating me as the draw goes on. So we actually get to watch it. So I said, "Oh, guess who we got?" Like, please don't tell me it's Bayern Munich. I said, "Nope." I said Real Madrid. It's like, I didn't want to draw Munich. I didn't want to drop EPL team. I was hoping for Villarreal or Benfica, and then I was like, okay, all right, not bad. It's not the end of the world because the last 5 or 6 games in Champions League against Real Madrid, Chelsea has won it. So we have a good history against them. but it's not going to be easy. I rather draw, Real Madrid at this stage instead of drawing Liverpool or Bayern Munich. Just because of that. But so my initial inspection, reaction was not really. Then I went from not really to okay, we'd be all right. So that was my initial reaction.
Yeah, I think we're having some challenges around sharing the screen. That's why we have to do.
That's okay. I think everybody has seen the teams now. We can just, show our faces while we talk. I think that's
Okay, that's fine. Let's do that then. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let me just remove this, and then we can go ahead. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let's talk. Go ahead. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So, my reaction when I saw the lineup was, first of all, I saw them pull out, my God, I've actually forgotten who we played out. I saw them pull out Atletico Madrid, and I was like, I don't like this team. That's my first reaction. I don't like Atletico Madrid. And then I saw a name come up, and I was like, you know what? It's over 2 legs. It's not a knockout. It's not a one-off thing. It's over 2 legs. I like our chances over 2 legs for anybody. So I was a little bit more at ease, just thinking, okay, 2 legs, because just the way Atletico play football, I don't like it. They do a lot of acting. They fall on the floor. Lose the red card. So I don't like that at all. And then I saw the next couple of picks. I saw Chelsea and Real Madrid, and to me, I think that's the toughest draw. I don't like judging matchups based on historical what they've done in the past. That doesn't make any sense to me as analysis. Analysis has to be based on who's playing, which players are playing right now. Not because if you say, okay, well, Chelsea won the last 3. Okay, well, that's not the same team. You have to look at the team playing. And this Real Madrid, I think, will be a little bit more tricky for Chelsea, especially over 2 legs, just because Vinicius is playing so in form right now, and Benzema is playing good. So I think that's the toughest draw, but I still think Chelsea still have an edge, just a little bit of a psychological edge. Liverpool's draw, I think that's going to be super easy. I really do. I think that's going to be tremendously easy. Bayern Munich, I think Bayern Munich is going to be a little bit challenging, just because Villarreal is a really tough team. It's a really tough team, and they're gritty. They know how to grind out things. So I think that'll be tough, but I still think Bayern Munich comes out. So it's a good draw. I like the fact that 3 Premier League teams are in there, and that shows strength in the league. That the league is really, really, really improving. Several years in a row, it's been a bunch of EPL teams.
I'll come to Patrick and Ty really. So I mean, when we look at the ties, let's look at the ones that are harder: the Chelsea, Real Madrid, Atleti, City. The role of no away goals, right? How does that change the dynamic? Because now, even if you score a goal away, 1-0 away, it's still 1-0 halftime. How's that going to change the narrative? And how will the teams?
It changes a lot. I'll go first. I don't know if you're asking somebody else, but it changes a lot because that's Atletico Madrid's strength. They'll score 1 goal and just close up shop, and they'll just sit back. They won't do anything else if they score at home, because they'll be relying on if they score 1 goal at your place, they'll just say, okay, we scored an away goal. That counts as 2. You just sit back and do nothing else. They can't do that anymore. So I think they have to be. Even though I know the way they're going to play us, I can almost predict. It's the same way Crystal Palace played us. They'll just sit back and they'll look for counter chances. I think I would have been a little bit more fearful if we played another team, just because we won't have Kyle Walker for the first game. But they don't have any threat on that left-hand side that can run past anybody. So I don't think what's his name? That their kid, João Felix. I don't think he's that much of a threat in speed-wise that he'll give us such a problem. So the away goal rule count is. I like that they scrapped it. I thought it was nonsense, because teams just sit back and they don't play football, and I never liked that.
Patrick, what do you think when you saw the draw? How I know we've been talking online on WhatsApp and what's the vibe? What's your vibe for the draw overall? All the teams.
For me, first of all, I would like to point this out. Whether people will get hurt or people are not going to like this, I have always thought that Bayern Munich always get these easy draws because people like pointing at they like pointing at City, saying City get easy draws and we fail. But Bayern Munich, look at them properly in the group stages until they get to the quarters. It's the same as where Bayern starts getting big boy teams. They always slap an out of form team. They get an out of form Barcelona, slap them, look great, and then they say Bayern is super. So for me, Bayern, I wasn't surprised. I knew Bayern would get Villarreal, Benfica. It's quite ironic that Liverpool fans, after they cry so much, they have got Benfica. If it was City getting Benfica, I'm pretty sure Twitter could have been mad saying we paid UEFA for it. But look, at the end of the day, I think all of these ties are difficult. These days, football is never won by history, as Tai just said. It's not about the past, or it's not about your name. This is about football. Even these Benficas, I thought Benfica was going to be out of during the group stages. They came back. They've got ballers, and Benficas have got ballers more than Inter. People who can finish more than Inter, mind you. So it's not a given. So look, for me, Villarreal versus Munich. Tai said it again. You can never predict that one because Villarreal are also Pack the Bus FC. And let's not forget that they play counter-attack football. And when you counter Bayern, as PSG did seasons ago, do you remember what they did to them? When they packed the bus and countered Bayern, Bayern has got a very, very slow defense. So it might be trouble for Bayern. Talking about City with Atleti, I'm not worried. If this was a one-off game like the Lyon game, do you remember the Lyon game, guys, where it was just one-off and it's done?
Don't remind us.
I could have been sweating. Yeah, but on two ties where there's no away goal, I have so much confidence. And you're right about it. If it was Bayern, Liverpool, or Chelsea, or any other team, and we're playing without Kyle Walker, I could have been sweating. But this Atletico team, they seem like they don't want to attack. They love to just sit there and look for their chances. And even if we have got John Stones as right back, or we play Zinchenko, Cancelo, I don't think anybody will trouble them. And with the fact that we can keep the ball better than United, if we're Athletic decide not to play, I'm pretty sure City is just going to be playing in front of them and trying to find a way to break them down. I know people say we struggle to break teams down, but we only struggle with few teams. It's not always the case. Some teams we break them down. You've seen it before. Everybody packs the bus against City, and we do break them down. So for me, I'm not worried about that.
Madrid. I just love this comment from Big Morgan real quick. Otamendi will sort Liverpool out.
Relax. Behave yourself.
I best friend, Otamendi.
Behave yourself. Yeah. What does? Yeah, but the Madrid and Chelsea, I'm interested because I didn't really think Madrid were gonna make it. I know that I said that they might win it, but it was just me being hopeful against PSG. I just wanted PSG out. But this Madrid is different. They're full of confidence. They're not the Madrid that they met last season that was out of confidence and not doing that great. So I think this is going to be an interesting match. And the coach who is coaching Madrid right now is not the coach that was coaching Madrid before. Zidane, his whole I can manage egos thing was finished by the time they played Chelsea. So it'll be interesting, to be honest with you. It'll be very, very interesting. So I'm looking forward to all the games. And for me, I don't think there's any easy games. I think we might be shocked, especially the Villarreal Munich game. I'm watching it closely. I don't know if it's only just me. I have a feeling that Bayern Munich will be frustrated.
You know, the funny thing is, I actually watched the whole. While you guys are watching Arsenal versus Liverpool, I watched the Villarreal Juventus game, and I was really impressed. I mean, the way they sat back and parked the bus, but just the way they counter pressed and won the ball back. You had that. What's the Nigerian kid's name again? Chukwueze, right? Yeah, Chukwueze was there running down the wing. You had all these guys, winning the ball back. There's one other former Premier League player that plays for them. They're a well-organized team. Now, on the counter argument, Bayern Munich recognized that they have slow centre backs, have changed their back three. So now you have the back three that they play, right? And then they have Leroy Sané as a 10, Lewandowski, and they have those wing backs. And you can use our boy Alphonso Davies if he's fit. I mean, that's a dangerous team. And the reality is that I think if you give Chelsea the option of playing, or City of playing, Atleti, Real Madrid, or playing Liverpool or Bayern Munich, we'll probably pick what we have right now. Is that a fair assessment right now in the quarterfinal? If you had a choice.
Yeah, I mean, At this point, I don't think it really matters because everything that is there that's left now are there for a reason. Meaning they they've won really good games, right? To get here. Everything that's left now could be. I know everybody wants Villarreal and Benfica, but there's a reason why Benfica is here. There's a reason why Villarreal is here. Let's be real,
Yeah,
right? So if you overlook them, that's your problem. I mean, I
yeah,
think you can't overlook anybody. Yes, I think we all agree that Chelsea and Real Madrid are the toughest games, so to say, but the rest of them are going to be tough. I don't think Bayern Munich is going to find it funny because if I'm Villarreal, I'm going to watch every game that Bayern Munich has played against Mönchengladbach within the last 2 years
that's true.
and try to use that tactic because they've struggled with Mönchengladbach. I think they've only beat them once in the last in the last 4 games.
That's true.
So now you have something to kind of look and use to study how to play against them. Going back to the Chelsea Real Madrid game, yes, you can't go by what is happening in Paris. It's a different coach, it's different players, but I just think Tuchel is a very smart coach, and he can get the best out of that defense. Especially home and away. And we don't know. I'm trying to pull up the schedule to see who Chelsea is playing before the Champions League and who Real Madrid is playing before the Champions League games.
You mentioned that, Ty. I want to point something out. So the good thing about, I think, where you guys have some sort of advantage is the fact that the games around the quarterfinal, semifinal game, I think your run is slightly easier than other teams in the top 3 or 4 of Premier League. So, for example, if you look at Liverpool's run, when they have to play the semifinal, if they get through, they're going to have to play United, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Everton, and then twice Bayern Munich within the space of 2 to 3 weeks, right? We will have to play Brighton, I think Newcastle, some of the Leeds, and one other club in that space if we get through to them. So that also could change the equation in terms of, okay, how do we prepare for this going forward?
Yep.
And then if they do prepare for the next round, right? Now it's not Bayern Munich versus Liverpool, and Chelsea versus City, or Chelsea versus or City versus Real Madrid or Atletico. That also, it changes the dynamic around what happens in the league, in the domestic league as well. So I think you're right. I think all the games are difficult games. There's no easy game, and I like the fact that you pointed that since there's no away goals, it just opens up the whole field. It's halftime. Think about Real Madrid versus PSG, right? 1-0, lose away. They even go down a goal in Madrid, down 2-0, they come back 3-2. In the days of away goals, that tie is dead, because now Real Madrid have to score 3 goals to even to win and not concede any. It changes the whole dynamic. So yeah. And any other things you guys want to talk about? I know we've gone through.
Another thing I want to mention real quick is we still have time. You don't know what's going to happen in these games as far as players is concerned. Red cards, injuries between now and then. One of the things I know, when we had the last conversation, the last podcast before the last round of Champions League game, I said I picked Real Madrid over PSG because the game before that, remember, PSG lost to Nice before they played Real Madrid, right? They lost that game, and I think Nice was at home, and then Real Madrid played Real Sociedad or something, and they won that game 4-1. So you have a very high tempo, good mood Real Madrid and PSG that's like, damn, we just lost to Nice 1-0, and we got to snap out of this because now we got Champions League. Yes, Mbappe didn't play in that game because he did play. I'm sorry, he did play, but it came out early. Yeah, he played in that game, but it came out early. So you have a team that just crushed somebody 4-1, who is feeling good about themselves, confident about themselves, and it's a big team that just lost to a mid-table team who's not so high on themselves, and they made it a big game. So anything can happen in these games before you meet, your opponent. So that's why I think who you're playing before the Champions League games kind of matters.
It matters because the energy you're going to put into it too.
Patrick, I want to emphasize. So for example, for City, we played Burnley before Atletico, which for me is the perfect.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Yeah, yes, you can
Don't
rest.
you dare! You know what Burnley? You know what Burnley is? We have to break them down.
Yeah, but that's my point. That's my point, right? If you can, playing Burnley, right?
It's practice. Is that what
Prepares
you're
you
trying to
for
say?
Atleti because you have to break them down. You have to break them down. You're gonna have to break down Atleti as well if you're gonna do that, right? They don't play expansive football. Or at least we haven't seen that over the past 2 games. So it's a good test for that, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. What do you guys think, Ade and Patrick?
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Oh no, I was like, oh, I get where you're coming from. I thought you were about to say it's an easy game. I was like, we do beat them, but the goals every time we beat Burnley, we have to really break them down, and we win maybe 5-0, but it's after the boys have played good football and broken them down very well. Because that team is anti-football. I've never seen a team. Look, fair play to them. They've stayed in the Premier League multiple times, but you're right. Maybe that's the prep for Atletico. But the difference between Burnley and Atletico is because maybe Joe Felix can counter and actually finish. Unlike maybe Burnley, sometimes they'll fluff their line and they are not as good quality as thing. But maybe you're right. But for me, to be honest with you, I'm not excited by the whole calendar. It's just full of Pack the Bus FC, Wolves. I don't know if you've noticed that. Southampton, Burnley. It's just like every match we have during that stage, it's just teams that we're gonna have to continue playing and playing. So much energy for in the mind for the players to find access. Maybe it'll be an advantage. That'll be like, you know what, Atletico Madrid, we just played Southampton and Burnley, so we're ready for you. But you might not also know that we might be tired mentally now that because we're trying to break these teams like Southampton. But anyway, you never know. As Ty said, it also depends on how you get there. You know, if we win all the games against Southampton and Burnley, we'll be so confident that it doesn't matter if somebody sits down, we can beat them. So I don't know what Ade wants that on. Yeah.
Okay, Ty, from a player's perspective, will you be? I mean, going into April and May, right? You're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, you are in top 3 in the Premier League, you are in the FA Cup, potentially quarterfinal, semifinal. Are you going to be tired to play games? How does the mentality work for a player from that perspective? And then Ade will come to you.
Players want to play regardless, right? Players want to play as long as they are healthy. And that's what I'm saying, that you never know what's going to happen. You know, like who's going to get injured. Of course, we don't pray for anybody to get injured before a big game, but players always want to play. They want to play in the Champions League. They want to play as many games. I mean, look at City. You think Sterling want to sit out any game? You know, he wouldn't mind. He needed this Kevin De Bruyne, needed this, Jesus, all those guys that want to play. If you look at Chelsea, Pulisic is not known for staying healthy for a long time, but he still wanted to play as much as possible. He was benched for 2 games and then he came back and he was like, okay, why am I benched? I was playing well, what's going on? But the coaches know to rotate him and get him some rest. So players, from a player's perspective, players always want to play, especially in the big game. You never see a player that says, oh, sit me down or I need to rest on a big game. No. Even some players be like, I don't care, play me in FA Cup, play me in big games. So players always want to play. It's up to the coach. Now, the question is, how does the coach do the rotation, right? Do you overthink it? Which Pep is known to overthink things, sometimes. And that could be what the issue is. You're playing Burnley and you're like, okay, maybe I can rest KDB before Burnley. Or how much minutes do you give KDB, for example, before the game, before the Burnley game? And then also depends on who does it play as a center back. Walker is not going to play in the first leg. So do you play him 90 minutes in the other game, or do you play him 70 minutes? And whether you're going to play as a right back in the next game in Champions League, play them 15 or 30 minutes so that they can get that groove going? Or do you just sit Walker out? I think the mentality really is all about how the coaching staff feel and how they feel like, okay, this player needs a momentum. He needs to play 2-3 games to get the best out of him. And this player can come off the bench and just produce right away.
Big up to Big Morgan. Thanks for that comment. That's fantastic. Yeah, we do love football, and we have a guy who joined us, Pajay, who's also a Chelsea fan. Pajay, we'll come to you in a minute, but I did coming to you. Given the fact that we have Burnley away before Atleti, Chelsea have Brentford at home, Liverpool have Watford as well. does that play a factor in preparing for the Champions League game? How, from a City perspective, does Burnley prepare us for Atleti or no?
I don't know. I don't know about preparing. I think what prepares you is the training, watching video of the film of the team you're playing before you play them. I don't think playing another team prepares you for another team. That's just my opinion. I think you just get a chance to get, because you're not playing the same players. The player that you're defending or you're attacking is not the same person you're going to face. Joao Felix is different from I don't know who the Burnley players are, but those people are different. I think it's the preparation. It's the preparation before that game. The only thing the Burnley game does is just get you fit, and you're hoping for no injuries in that game. So you're not trying to stress out the guys that are going to be playing in the big Champions League game. But at the same time, Burnley's fighting relegation. So Burnley is going to play really, really hard. They're not going to go attack City. No one does that. Well, Liverpool does. But they will defend. They will defend and they will counter. So you're still mindful that you're playing Burnley. So you have to focus on Burnley. You can't focus and say, oh, this is preparation for the next game, because if you lose to Burnley or you tie, Liverpool is close by. So you have to focus on the Burnley game. You can't focus on, the other game. So I think every team, every EPL team is going to have a bit of because Chelsea is vying for top 4. Liverpool is trying to win the league. We're trying to win the league. So all those 3 teams, they have something to gain. So the game in the Premier League is very important to them. So they all have to concentrate on that game. There's no such thing as this game is getting you ready for that game, because it's not easy. So I think it's just it's simple to say that, oh yeah, this team is little, we'll just knock them out. Everybody thought we're going to knock out Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace just defended for their life and they counted and they tied the game. So I think you have to focus on the team you're playing.
Absolutely. Paje, welcome, man. Thanks for joining us. Paje, again, is a friend of ours, Chelsea fan. We talk a lot of stuff. We talk about finances as well and takeover, all that kind of stuff that's going on. But when you woke up this morning, you saw the draw, Paje. What did go to your mind, my brother?
More.
Yes,
Why they can't give us money again now? Now we're Benzema day form. I mean, why they don't give us Benfica and carry Bayern give City? I know you can go laugh on that one. Yeah. So, but it's at this stage, honestly, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Yes, we know that there are favorites there. I mean, on paper, I expect City to go through, because Atletico is not the same Atletico as before. But knowing our man Pep, he will start doing some Pythagoras theorem and trying to overanalyze. Liverpool is probably going to beat, Benfica or whoever. So, I'm just leery. Okay, but I think the tastiest of all the draws in the quarterfinal right now, the one that nobody can say what's going to happen, is us and Madrid. I think the other teams, we kind of know who the favorites are.
Yeah.
But with us, I think it's 50-50.
The annoying thing for me, Paje, about UEFA, right, is the fact that the Chelsea Real Madrid game and the City Atleti are going to be on at the same time. So as a fan, you don't really enjoy the games, because you're looking at one or the other, you're looking at both. You want to enjoy it. I don't know why they cannot, one, stagger it, or two, find a way to move games. So for example, let Liverpool versus Benfica swap the days.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get more eyes on the game if you have those two things separate. Are you following me? It's so annoying.
It is annoying.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, and that's what begs into the question of when they were talking about constricting the World Cup from 4 years to 2 years and doing this Super League stuff. Look at the schedule now. Look at how cramped. I mean, probably what's throwing it off is the fact that there was COVID. It threw a year off. Now they're trying to squeeze World Cup qualifiers and whatever into the schedule, and now you end up playing 2 matches concurrently when they should be separate. If anything, they could have at least maybe play them at different times on the same day. Who says it has to be 2:45 in the evening?
Yeah.
Or 2:45 in the afternoon in UK? You know, but these tiny little things of what have to be considered when they're talking about, oh, we're going to constrict the World Cup into 2 years and make it more exciting. What time is? How are you going to handle the leagues? How are you going to do all this other stuff?
Yeah, I mean, not to digress too much, but this is one of the arguments for the Super League, right? They feel they can organize this competition better and make more money. In that case, for example, you have two giants playing, right, on the same day at the same time. You're going to get divided attention. You're not going to get the revenue streams from both games. If you restructure that, you get full eyes on Chelsea at Madrid, full eyes on City, Atletico. You get your revenues up probably 5, 6, 10 times because everybody's going to be focused on those games. Advertisement's going to work. The money's going to come in. So UEFA need to restructure their whole. Maybe that's what they want to do in 2024 with the new structure of the Champions League, which is going to be kind of groups and then final knockout in the last 4 or something like that. But anyway, I digress.
There's no guarantee that the Super League people will do better, anyways. I think there's just a whole bunch of excuses, to be honest.
Yeah,
you know.
But anyway, I mean, I thought about the draws today, and you know, it's a fair draw. I think Chelsea are going to beat Real Madrid. I think they'll go through. I just think that Tuchel is a good manager. You know, it won't surprise me if they get through. The first leg is going to be critical. How both teams perform in the first leg. Atleti, we should go through if we take our chances. Bayern Munich versus Villarreal, I think they'll go through, and I think Liverpool will go through. Then it's going to be the semi-final heavyweights going for it. And that's going to be interesting. And it could be a Liverpool.
So that means that if we both go, that means we meet City, Abi.
Yeah, if we both go through
over 2 legs.
Over 2
Yinka,
legs.
why are you smiling? I don't like that. I don't like the smile on Yinka's face when he saw that.
Look, you beat us last year. I like the chances though.
No. One game is here from 2 legs. I beg.
Hey, you beat us last year, so you're still the favorites. You're the champions. But over 2 legs, I like our chances.
No, because I know what's going through Yinka's mind why he smiled. He smiled. He's not going to say it, but he smiled because he's like, we go pounding her like yam. Wait,
that's not true. Because now, if you beat us, you will now have something to say. Don't say things that are not true. It's going
like
to be
you come and you be doing like this to us. You be doing like this. But
it's not good. Game, Paj, it'll be a good game. But let's not predict the future. Yeah. Let's get there first, and then we'll have another show and we'll talk about
that's true, Sha. That's we have to get through Madrid.
Correct. We have to get through. Like, I don't think Atletico is. Like I said, I don't like it. I've never liked Atletico, even when they were playing United, even when they played all that team. I don't like that team because they do too much acting for me, and I don't like that.
Nobody likes to play Atletico because you never know.
So I don't think it's an easy game. I think they're like everyone's saying. We all know who the favorites are, so you can make your predictions based on who the favorites are, and that's fine to say. But you still know in the back of your mind that anything can happen. Somebody can get a red card, somebody can be injured. So all those things play a factor in cup competitions. And that's why cup competitions are so unpredictable. You can never tell. Anything can happen. It's not like the Premier League where you have to plan each game for 40 so games. And basically when you win the Premier League, you worked for it. You can win the Champions League and you didn't do anything special. You just got lucky. So, I mean,
winning a tournament, that's when you require some luck, but it's still a lot into it.
It's not as much as a league, as a La Liga or an EPL. So that's what I'm saying. I'm only comparing the league to a cup competition. A cup competition is you can meet a team over 2 legs. You lose your best player in one of those legs. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. But in a again, I know we're veering off topic, but in a league game, if you lose a player, you still have that's where the managers really manage, and you can say, okay, we've lost Kevin De Bruyne. Who could we get to fill this role? You start planning long term over the course of 40 games. So it's a bit different. But my point is just that anything can happen in a cup competition, and I don't think any team is that much of a favorite. They are slight favorites, but it's not a wide margin.
I have a quick question for you guys. Is anybody looking forward to Sané versus Trent Alexander-Arnold? Anybody looking forward?
Alexander-Arnold's injured. He's out for weeks.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie. He's not. He's lying. He just wants to. Watch
he's
this.
out, he's out.
Watch it closely. Watch him. He's gonna come back. He just doesn't want him to go to England. Watch that.
Well, you got to
Oh,
be
it's
fair
a
though,
hamstring.
because they can say the same about Kevin De Bruyne. So you got to be fair.
It's
Because Kevin De
hamstring.
Bruyne is
He had
supposed to
had
be
a
injured.
hamstring.
He's injured?
I mean, he's not playing. I mean, not injured, but he's not playing for the national team. So if you're saying that about Arnold, you say the same thing about Kevin De Bruyne.
Wait, Trent is injured?
But
No, he's not injured, but he's not playing in the national. He's not playing for Belgium.
No, I mean,
But-
Trent
but-
Alexander-Arnold. Is he injured?
Arnold is injured. Yes,
Yeah, he
hamstring.
got a hamstring.
wow. Oh, how
He
many
could
weeks
be
is that?
out 2 to 4 weeks. Depends
Yeah.
on
yeah,
how-
Club said
but
it's out
to be
for weeks.
but to be fair though, to the person chiming in about Liverpool, I've even heard a Liverpool friend of mine say that there are some times when Liverpool will pull tricks, especially when it comes to AFCON. You know, all of a sudden a
That's
player
true.
has an
That is
injury
true.
and they
That's
can't
true.
go to AFCON. And of course, if they can't, because they're closing on the league, so there's that little thing that I've heard that Liverpool tries to pull when it comes to anytime they're sniffing the league, they might pull that.
You know what? That's true. And the only way we'll be able to tell is, okay, he said weeks, right? And if all of a sudden he doesn't play in the national team, and then the day before the the Champions League, they say, oh, okay, he's back. They will know this guy is playing games.
Because that he's Alexander Arnold. His grandfather is from Ikperu, so they might have sent him some Agbo over time. You know.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the next league game that really matters, I'm looking at Liverpool's schedule. So you have the international break, then they play FA Cup against Nottingham Forest, so they can rest them in that game. Then April 2nd, they're playing Watford. You don't really need him against Watford. And you don't really need him again until they play City, April 10th.
So he has about 3 weeks to get ready. He's going to be match ready for play City.
And hamstring at that level is about 2 to 4 weeks, depends
Correct.
on how the recovery
So
is.
if it's a real hamstring injury, Ty is right. He won't be back for our game. If he's back for our game, then everyone will know.
Well, he could be back for your game because that's 3 weeks from now.
Come on now.
That game.
I mean, wasn't Rhys James? Rhys James had hamstring. How long was he out?
Rhys James was hamstring tear. This is a pool.
I don't. It's all gamesmanship. We'll see.
Anyway,
There's a difference between a tear and a pool.
Ty sent me something to share. Let me see if I can share it real quick. No, I can't.
I mean, that's fine. It's in the background. I was just,
Yeah.
we're
having problems with permissions here. Things going upside down.
Don't worry.
Sorry, I'm keeping one eye on the Leeds and Wolves game as we're watching.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but hey, listen, I don't have anything else to talk about. I think we talked about the draws. We talked about each of the teams. I think we'll know more when we get to the match day itself. Maybe we'll do a show before the match day, before the first match day, and we'll see where all the teams are, injuries, form, stories. The one for the Chelsea, the one for the City, Bayern, and also for Liverpool as well.
Before we get up, though, I want to get everybody's opinion about this EPL title race, because it's actually a race now. In January, it looks like, it's the done deal, blah, blah, blah. It's just a matter of when City is going to win it. Now it's 1 point, same amount of games, and both teams that can win in Liverpool and City still have to play one more game. So what do you guys think? Patrick, what do you think?
Let me not lie to you. I am sweating. I am sweating. I was too cocky. I made a video. I laughed. I said it's over. Somebody has already clipped it. I was excited. I thought that, you know what? There's no way. You know what? Let's just be honest. I think I've come to the conclusion that if these guys manage to win all their games or manage to surpass us in this competition, it's fair game. Fair play to them. That means they're strong enough. But at first, I was looking at this Liverpool side and saying, I don't think they can win all the games. But do you know what has changed now? I'm sitting down and thinking, I've just been thinking, they have already won 9 games. Yes, some of the games were against very low sides, but some of the sides are desperate and they've won 9 games. Now they've got 9 games left. Now, if I can quote my friend Carl, you have to look at stats and history. This team has done a run before. So we have to be strong as City. We don't have to continue dropping points. I think the City boys maybe might be pumped now. Maybe there's an alarm that has gone off in their head saying, oh my God, I think this team is stronger. Now, Carl, I wanted to tell you something. I remember you told me that in the past, when there's a gap, we've beaten them before. But today I had a discussion with a Liverpool fan. And as he was talking, I saw there's a bit of brightness in his eyes. Then I realized that I think it's because now we are not playing a Liverpool side that has Mane, Salah, and Firmino only. Do you know how back in the days when Mane, Salah, Firmino don't do it, we used to laugh at them and say they're done for. They're not going to score. It's a draw. But now they've got Diaz and Jota and Origi who can come in, and those three can be benched, and these guys can score. So I think now it's, as the English say, it's squeaky bum time. And trust me, it's getting sweaty. We have to be careful. If we're not careful, these Liverpool people will outshine us. But I'm still confident in the team.
Ade, what do you think? I'm curious.
I think, first of all, I told you, beginning of the season, Liverpool wasn't ahead, and I told you Liverpool probably is going to win the league. Actually, I said they'll win the league. When they were behind Chelsea, Chelsea was running away. I've always known Liverpool's a tough team. I've never looked down at them. You can look at all my messages that we send in the group. That's the one team I don't talk trash about because I know they have the ability to do it. So that they're 1 point behind us right now, I don't think that's not a real surprise to me because at one point when people keep saying we were 14 points up, they had 2 games in hand. And I think facts don't matter anymore because if they have 2 games in hand, they haven't played two games. They played 2 games less. So it was actually not 14 points. But who's going to win? I have no idea. I do like our chances, though. I mean, if you give me our chances on paper, we have to play them at home. We're at home. They have to come and play us at home, and they have to beat us. They have to bring. They can't. They don't sit back. But I'm saying even if they wanted to, they can't. They have to come out and play us in our own stadium. So I like our chances. Would I be surprised if they win? No, because it's Liverpool. Liverpool is a really good team. I think it's a toss-up now. I mean, another narrative that I don't like is people say, City had this much of. Everybody started at 0-0. Everybody started with 0 points in the league. We just managed to run up the score a little bit, and they caught up. So this wasn't. They didn't dash us a couple of points to go ahead of them. we just managed to be ahead because we won more games, and now they won more games. And so it's a race between everyone. So I like our chances the way it is right now. If I was gonna pick somebody that will win, I mean, obviously I'm gonna pick City. That's my team. So I still think City still have a good chance, and all we have to do is I'm not worried about the game with Liverpool as much as I am worried about the games with the other teams. It's not the game against Liverpool that worries me. It's those other teams that come in with the mentality of we're trying to survive, we're trying to go to Europe, we're going to sit back. Those are the teams we're going to end up getting draws with because they sit back, and those are the teams Liverpool can beat because they don't play like we play. We play probably the most possession football in the league. So when a team counters us, even if they have 3 chances, those are going to be 3 quality chances because our back is open. So I think those are the games that worry me more, not the Liverpool game that we're going to play head-to-head at Etihad.
For me, I've always said that before the Southampton game, and Patrick can hear me out of this, I said 102 points is impossible. We're going to drop points. Before the Palace game, I said 99 points is impossible. We're going to drop points. And even now that we can get 97, I said it's impossible. We're going to drop points. Whoever wins this league is going to win it with 95, 94, 96 points. That's what's going to end up happening, which means that both sides will drop points. It's just a fact. In fact, Guardiola even said that 95 points, 94 points is going to win it. So to expect that this team is going to be better than the Centurions team, it's not going to happen. Points are going to be dropped. The question is, when they play each other in 2 weeks' time, if City gets 3 points in that game, it becomes 4 points. Then can we now make sure that over the run, right, in April, there are 4 games in April, 4 games that each team plays, right? We play Brighton, Newcastle, Leeds, and somebody else, one of that club.
I think it's Wolves.
4, right? They play United, Everton, Tottenham, and somebody else, one of them. So those 4 games are the games, in my opinion, that will determine what happens after the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
So, I still fancy our chances. It's going to be tight. I've always known it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight between the 2 clubs. But even now that we can get 97 points, we're not going to get 97 points. It's not going to happen. We're going to end up getting 95, 94 points. And then I think Liverpool will probably get 92, 93 points or so. Yeah, that's what I think is going to end up happening.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, for me, I think at this point it's a mental game, because City had a nice run until the last couple of games. Champions League, they had beaten that team 5-0, and I think that's one of the few games where I've seen City score a whole bunch of goals. And then that other team came home, played 0-0. You could have the argument both ways. You can say, okay, you already won 5-0. You could put your girls' team there. As long as you don't concede 5, you're good. But the flip side is City is the kind of team that if they can score 20, they will score 20.
Yeah.
So if you look at the game, the team doesn't play any differently, and the goal doesn't go in. Okay, that's a one-off. Champions League, you qualify. Then comes this game, and chances were there, blah, blah, blah. And City is the kind of team that I've noticed, if they don't score in the first half, they will get Gini. City likes to hit you, so you can come out, and then they will start hitting you again. Start flogging you like goat.
They say, what's the English of Jimmy?
Gini. Oh, nervousness. They start getting nervous. They start getting biggy. When your heart is doing bigging. Yeah, they start getting nervous and they start doubting themselves. If the chances that are supposed to go in don't go in, then things start kind of getting all wobbly. Now, going forward, that is where it's going to count, because Liverpool still scores goals. 2-3 goals they score. So if City can keep the nerves and get the kind of form they had back in November, December, they're going to win the league. But if they go into any games where they are thinking about Liverpool, they're going to lose the league.
You're absolutely spot on. There's one small stat that's at the back of my head, and Patrick, I talked about this many times, and all of you laughed at me, right? You laughed at me. There's one small stat.
Did we laugh at you?
There's one small stat that's at the back of my head that I hate it, but it's there, right? Which is no English team has won both the Champions League and the Premier League since Alex Ferguson in the same season. No, and there's a reason for that, right? So the question now becomes, at some point, right, that voice is going to get louder and louder and louder. And in my mind, I'm going to make a calculus, right? Is either going to be forced or unforced. Are you following me, right?
It's about maybe it's like picking your poison.
Yeah.
Right. Essentially, right? Since 1999, which is what, 21, 22 years ago.
Yeah.
No English team has won both UCL and Premier League in the same season.
But even then, you can argue that the league was different. The league was the teams were not this competitive. So Man U used to run over everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to win it by 70, 80 already. They have won by
by December they've won.
Yeah.
So it's that voice in the back of my head that's saying, dude, you do know this, right? What you're gonna have to make a decision sometime soon, because unless you guys do something so spectacular.
Man, I just leave that Champions League for us. They may want to hustle for the league.
For me, it boils down to this, right? They're both good teams. I know City is 1 point ahead, and it's in their favor because of the 1 point. Because if it was Chelsea, I'd rather have the 1 point ahead than going to a head-to-head with a team that is second place. But if I have to put my money on either one of the teams today, I will put on Liverpool. And this is the reason why. Liverpool have struggled the last 3 games, and they managed to win those 3 games. They haven't played well.
Fact.
They haven't played well the last 3 games if they found a way to play. If you look at the last game they played, first half, they were crap. I mean, Klopp couldn't even yell loud enough for them to get it together. And they came out second half, and it was a completely different team. And then they had Diaz that brings a whole different dimension. You have Jota, you have Firmino, that if they have any injury to Mane or Salah, they
Origi.
Origi, you know. So that's my reason is I feel like, you know, they could be better. They right now when it comes to it, because you have to look at this. It's 3 competitions going on right now for both teams: FA Cup, League, and Champions League. And as a coach, I don't believe that a coach ever say, that's a Mickey Mouse Cup. I don't have to worry about it. I don't believe that coaches say that, right? Some people say, yeah, they play their weak team for that. No. So you are competing in 3 different competitions. City is the current champions of the league. I think if any City wants to win a trophy, if they tell them, you put a gun to Pep's head and say, pick one, League or Champions League, I think he would say Champions League because he's defending champion. So if there's a player that maybe not be 100% and you have to play him in the league or the Champions League, you rest the player in the league and play him Champions League. You know what I'm saying? So for those reasons, if I have to put money on it today, I'll put my money on Liverpool.
But Ty, do you think that? I mean, I know you mentioned that the Liverpool game against Arsenal. I didn't watch it, but I heard that the first half was really, really crap. A better team. Let's say they play at Chelsea and they play like against Chelsea, or play against City. I mean, isn't it lights out in the first half? If they score 2 or 3 goals, isn't that the difference between the standards that they're trying to get to?
So lights out has to be at least 3 goals, right? Because if you're able to get 3 goals against them, then yeah, you can say, okay, yeah, I got 3 goals. The most they could get second half is maybe 2, and then you won. But if you get 2 goals against Liverpool in a half, they can still come back second half because they are forward attacking team. When I said they weren't playing well, it wasn't like they were being really, really dominated. It's just that they didn't look like the regular Liverpool. Passes were not really connecting. Chances were not really being created. And defensively, they didn't really look sharp. Like Van Dijk looked like Liverpool without Van Dijk. You know what I mean? But second half, it clicked. And I watched the post-match game when the announcer asked Pep, what did he say? Did he go in the locker room and yell at them and pull a Mourinho? He didn't say pull a Mourinho, but like kind of tell the locker. He said, nah. He said he can. He said he didn't do that.
Okay, well, Ty, I got something to say though. So how about this though? So I hear what you're saying now, but this is why sometimes I feel like people let their biases show. When Liverpool were running away with the league, the year we won by 1 point, they were running away with the league. They were ahead of us by a couple of points. Do you remember your analysis? You said Liverpool were going to win the league. They were in better form. They were in better form than they are now. Yeah, you said they were going to win the league, right? Or you don't remember?
No, I'm asking the question.
So how is it that?
Wow,
they were ahead. They were in unbelievable form, and you picked them to win the league based on their form, even though we were chasing them. So now the flip side is we're ahead by 1 point, and they're chasing us, and you still pick them behind us to win. Explain that.
I just told you. They haven't played well the last 3 games, and they still managed to get 3 points.
So how about the year they were playing better and they didn't win and they were ahead of us?
Because at that time they didn't feel like it. They didn't look like they could drop points.
Okay, so don't you think that's contradictory? You're picking them, saying that they aren't playing well, they're winning games, and you still pick them to win, even though we're ahead by a point and they have a tougher schedule. And back then, you said they will still win the league because they were ahead. They were playing unbelievable football.
You guys were playing well, though. You guys was also playing well.
But based on what your analysis was that they would win the league because they were playing better. Not that we were also playing well.
Let me answer you.
You have a bias, but you don't.
No, it's not a bias. Listen.
It is. I just explained.
Listen.
Okay,
go ahead. You asked the question. Let me explain to you.
Go ahead.
Back then, Liverpool was playing well, and they had the points ahead.
No, it wasn't. Okay, don't just say it like that. They weren't just playing well. They were playing They lost the lead by a point. They were playing unbelievable.
Okay, they were playing unbelievable, and you guys were playing well, right?
Yes.
Now, listen to me well. Now, Liverpool is struggled the last 3 games, and you guys are playing okay. You guys are not playing unbelievable right now. You know that, right?
Okay.
So you see the difference. a team was playing like you said. I'm using your word, unbelievable, right? And now the other team was playing well, which is you guys. Now Liverpool is not playing well, but you guys are playing okay. Right now, the last 3 games, City has not been the regular City.
Okay. So you picked them to win then, you're picking them to win now.
Unbelievable.
So you picked them to win then, and you're picking them to win now, though, right?
And I give you the explanation why.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just saying, so we agree on that. You picked them to win then, and we won by a point, and you're picking them now because they're not playing well and they're winning, and we're playing okay, and we're still not. We drew a game, right? Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. All right,
I think for me, the end of it, we have 9 games to go, right? We have a team that can go 21 games to win, 9 games to play. I think City are going to do it. I just think they are. I think that when they decide to
sorry. The only thing I was trying to explain, Ty, was but you won't agree. There's a bias in your analysis, but it's okay. We can move on.
Like I say, the favor is in City, but if I have to put money down,
you've been saying it all along. You say it in the chat. You say it here. You're saying that you pick Liverpool. You pick. I get it, but I'm simply trying to explain. I know that I picked Liverpool to win, but I'm telling you, you have a bias, but you don't check your biases. It's okay. I picked Liverpool to win. I picked Liverpool to win.
If I may chime in into that,
the beauty of this is it's all about opinions,
if I may chime in into that thesis of what happened to Liverpool last time, even as I was watching Liverpool at that time, there was one key problem that Liverpool was going to potentially face. They had a game against Everton, and I said to myself, as long as they don't let this it's a local derby thing gets to them, if they beat Everton, boom, done. But somehow, and they were playing really well, but somehow.
But the difference that year also was that we beat them when we played. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay.
Was it after the Everton game? Was it after the Everton game?
The deciding game was the game we beat them, and I'm just trying to explain to Ty that he has a bias, but he won't agree. I'll move on.
I think the key to the race will be April 10th. If City win that game, then it's 4 points ahead, and then the run
that game is huge. That's a 6-point swing. If City wins it, that's a 6-point swing. If Liverpool wins it, it's a 6-point swing.
That's true. It's a deciding game.
The issue now is the last 4 or 5 games that they have to play. They have to play United, Everton, Tottenham, Southampton, and then Wolves. And those are not easy games, and you're still in the quarterfinal, semifinal, championship.
We also have to play Wolves, though. Remember, we also have to play Wolves.
Yeah, but our Wolves game is going to be postponed till later on because of the FA Cup. Are you following me?
Thank God. That's if we make it to the FA Cup. That's if we make it.
It's going to be United while we play Brighton. See, all these little things, right, all change the dynamic and how it's all going to play out. It all, I'd rather be 1 point ahead than be 1 point behind, chasing Guardiola team.
I agree with you.
But we'll see. I mean, this is why we love football, right? We'll see what happens. I mean, Saturday, tomorrow, big games for all of us, right? We have Southampton. You guys have Middlesbrough.
Southampton is going to be a tricky game, man. I think it's going to be a tricky game.
The only hope I have of that game, Ade, is the fact that there's extra time. And it's going to be like 120 minutes, and we have no game afterwards. So they're going to park the bus for 120 minutes. Good luck.
Yeah.
Because
that counter, man. I hate that counter, man. Chelsea did it to us too. That counter is dangerous, man.
We'll see. But anyway, we've done like an hour here. We have all the guys on the show. SSB 28. We have Charlie. We have so many people on the show. I'm excited about this. To be alive at this point in time, watching this kind of football, for me, it's just, it's just crazy. It really is. We've never seen anything like this before in our lives. With Chelsea, with Liverpool, with City. I mean, Europe must be shaking in their boots saying, how do we catch up with these guys? Because
these English teams are really good.
I mean, the reality is it's just lights out football.
Can I ask something though? Can I ask something before we move on? My brother Ty. So now Chelsea is playing Madrid. Which side are we jumping?
I told you. I said if Chelsea Madrid, I'm Chelsea.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You see, if it's Chelsea Madrid, it's Chelsea. If it's Chelsea DC United, I'm DC United. Just know that.
Meanwhile, we got one quick plug. One quick plug.
This guy
Take
is
a 5 days.
market man.
I want you to hear of this.
Hey, DC United is the home team, man. That's the number one team right there.
Hey, I feel you though. I feel you on that one though.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel you on
Anyway,
that one.
let's wrap this up real quick, guys. Let's start with Ade and Paje, Patrick, and Ty. Any last words? Any thoughts? Wrapping up.
No, I like the Champions League draw. I think Liverpool and City have a really interesting path to in the Champions League and the league, because their games, every single game they play from now until the end of the season matters.
The final.
Till final. I think Chelsea actually has more of a chance to focus on the Champions League than they do the league, because they know they're kind of comfortable with top four right now. Again, anything can happen, but I that's just my opinion. So I feel like they gotta take what they gotta take Champions League. They can take Champions League a bit serious and and really take it to Madrid. And I think they will probably take that. I know Madrid is good, but I think Chelsea will win that. Liverpool. Basically, what I'm saying is we're gonna have good football from now to the end of the season.
Absolutely. Paje.
Yeah. I don't think I can disagree much with Adi there. I think the favorites on paper for the other three teams besides Chelsea are likely to go through, and it's gonna make for a bombshell of a semifinal, whichever way you look at it. Because if Liverpool is playing Bayern, and then I hope that we get to face. If I say I hope we get to face Atletico now, Adi will say I get problem. But
say what you want.
Say what you say.
It's all about opinions, bro.
But you know what? It's like a suspense movie that you did not get the leak. Just sit back and enjoy it.
Yes.
That's what I can say.
I agree.
Absolutely. I think that those are wise words, man. Those are wise words. Just enjoy.
I agree.
I just want to say that to help Chelsea out in Champions League, City should borrow us their plane and maybe pay for our hotel when we go to Real Madrid. Because we're going through challenges right now. We could use a good friend. That's all I want to say.
We'll go together.
Borrow us your private jet and pay for our hotel. We might reimburse you one day.
Crazy days. Absolutely crazy days. Hopefully, you guys. I think the bids are in today, right? They should be in by now. At 9:00 is when the bids are supposed to be.
We still got issues, but it's okay. I'm semi joking, but you guys could be a nice people and let us borrow some stuff.
Patrick.
For me, it's all good. As I told my friends at work today, people who were crying during the draw because we were watching it together, I said, guys, there is no easy team, and if you want to win the Champions League, you're gonna have to beat all these teams. Eventually, even if you dodged Chelsea, you dodged Liverpool, because a lot of these people from other leagues, I think, were scared of English teams. I'm like, eventually, you're gonna meet one of these English teams. You will meet one of these English teams. If you're an English team, you're trying to dodge Bayern. Trust me, you will meet Bayern eventually. Bayern will find you. Atletico Madrid will find you. Chelsea will find you. Liverpool will find you. Everybody will find you. So if you think you're the best, right now, one more thing, excuse me. I want to say, the team that wins the Champions League with this display, that team needs to be respected heavily, because trust me, these ain't mug teams. Like, there's nobody who's weak here or silly. So whoever wins the Champions League this time, they deserve so much respect, because you have beaten the best and you've gone through the best before you win it. So that's all I wanted to say.
Absolutely. Very, very fair points. For me, again, I'm just excited, man. I posted today that I'm really excited about April and May, because the games are just going to be awesome. For a person who loves football, I'm just looking forward to it. Hopefully we do well. Maybe we win one, maybe we win two. We'll see. But
And Diaz is back in training, isn't he, Carl? Diaz is back in training.
That's what we hear, but we'll see.
So he's training by himself. He's training by himself.
Okay, great, which is good. Want to thank everybody for joining us. Charlie, SSB28. For Chelsea fans, our friend Abdullahi is a fantastic guy from Chelsea, and he really hosts a really great show, and we always get on it. All fans of all clubs. It really is a lovely chat with Chelsea fans out in Nigeria and also in the UK and also from the US as well. Want to thank again True City Fan TV. We do work together. ABL, we do work together to bring all this content to you. Big Morgan, thanks for joining us. I'm just going through who's on file. Everybody, thanks for joining us. And till next time, we'll see you. We'll see you again on the eve before the actual first leg of the Champions League quarterfinal leg. So till then, we'll see you. God bless and goodbye.
All right. You too.